I'm Chantel Roberts, and I'm an expert witness for claims handling standards, practices, and procedures. I was an insurance adjuster for 20 plus years. The Art of Adjusting is a vlog to help professionals and laypeople alike understand a bit more about the insurance claims industry. Over the past 2 months, we've been walking through the behind the scenes activities of an average adjuster. Today, we're going to be talking about how to close the claim. Once there's an agreed price to settle the case, whether it's a property claim or a liability claim, a settlement check will be issued. The insured may have a proof of loss to sign, and the claimant may have a release. These are not the same documents. Many insureds fear that signing a proof of loss will harm their ability to file a future claim if additional damages are found. In my experience, this has not been the case. In fact, I'm going to show you a standardized proof of loss and a standardized release of all claims so that you can see the difference. So as you can see here, we've got a standardized proof of loss. And in this proof of loss, it will talk about the amount of loss, the policy, and who the insureds are. It'll also talk about the time and origin of the loss and what building there was. This is for a property claim. This will be the mortgagee or if there's any lien holders. And down here is where you have the amount of claim that's involved in the loss. Here is some of the legal wording that a lot of insureds happen to be concerned with. And if you read it, you'll see that there's nothing here that says that the insured can't come back to the insurer if there is an additional damage found as a result of the repairs. Now, every state is going to be different. There may be some local rules that I don't know about. However, there's nothing on this. If there is a question, I recommend that you talk with your adjuster or an attorney on this. This one happens to be specifically for subrogation purposes. So it says that the insurer, the company, can go ahead and pursue subrogation or reimbursement from an at-fault party. The insured will need to sign it and then have a notary sign and stamp it as well. Now, as opposed to the proof of loss, you have a complete release of all claims. And that definitely does stop a person from pursuing another claim. And this will talk about the person who has a claim, and sometimes you will see a husband-wife release where the husband and wife will both have to sign the release, and it will be made payable to a certain amount of money, payable to a certain person. And here is where the insurer or the insured will go. Sometimes you'll see the insured, any associates, subsidiaries, employees will go there. And this does say that there will be no more claims. It's to operate as a release here. So this is it. After this section is done and dusted, there will be no more. You'll have two signatures. Again, if it is a husband and wife release, you'll need some witnesses. And again, a notary needs to witness this and stamp it for the insurer to accept it in most cases. Second, a claim note will be placed in the file to show the claim is going to be closed. It will recap what conclusion was drawn as a result of the investigation and the settlement amount, if any, which occurred. Remember that a denial can always be a settlement of a claim. Third, The adjuster will make sure all of the outstanding invoices from vendors are paid and reserves are taken down to zero. Fourth, if there's any subrogation or reimbursement from another party who happened to be at fault, then either the adjuster will handle that aspect of the claim or she will forward it to the subrogation department to handle. And once the file is closed, it no longer remains on an active diary. I will note that this is just the bare basics of an adjuster's day-to-day handling of a very simple file. If there are disagreements, a complaint, or litigation, there will be additional parts to the claims file, and we will talk about those aspects at a later date. So this week I talked about the final steps of handling a claim. There are a lot of steps that an adjuster takes when closing a file and handling the entire loss, in fact. But every claim is different, and every insurer has different protocols for handling losses. However, this being in the litigated world that we're in, please see below for some legalese. Very few claims go to a jury trial, and picking an expert who has been deposed the most or who's gone to trial the most may not be the correct expert. Failing to have a second set of eyes on the claim in order to save on some expenses isn't always the best way to resolve a loss. As an expert witness and a former claims adjuster, I'm sharing my experience on the art of adjusting. Thank you for listening. I appreciate your time.